Have you ever wondered why you sometimes act as your own worst enemy? This is a question that might seem odd at first, but on reflection, it's something many of us grapple with in our daily lives. Let's call it what it is: self-sabotage. It's that little voice inside your head that tells you to skip the gym, to procrastinate on that important project, or to settle for less than you deserve. Self-sabotage is a cunning adversary, often disguised as comfort or the easy way out. It manifests in countless ways, impacting our relationships, our careers, our dreams, and ultimately our happiness. But why do we do it? Why do we hinder our own progress? And more importantly, how can we stop this self-defeating cycle? This video aims to shed light on these questions, offering strategies and insights to help you break free from the shackles of self-sabotage. So, are you ready? Let's dive into understanding why we tend to sabotage ourselves. Self-sabotage is a paradox, a conflict between our conscious desires and our unconscious actions. It's like driving with one foot on the gas and the other on the brake. You want to move forward, but you're also holding yourself back. Imagine you're preparing for an important job interview. You've done your research, you're well qualified, and you're excited about the opportunity. But then you stay up late the night before, watching just one more episode of your favorite TV series, and you oversleep. You rush out the door, forgetting your well-prepared notes at home. This is an example of self-sabotage. Despite your conscious desire to succeed, your actions set you up for failure. Self-sabotage is rooted in our subconscious mind. It's often a result of negative self-belief or fear of failure. We might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle success." These thoughts create a self-fulfilling prophecy. We sabotage ourselves to avoid the potential pain of failure or rejection. But in doing so, we also prevent ourselves from achieving success and happiness. Self-sabotage can show up in many areas of our lives, from our careers and relationships to our health and personal growth. It can manifest as procrastination, self-medication, overeating, or even chronic lateness. We might avoid difficult conversations, hold back in our relationships, or settle for less than we deserve. The impact of self-sabotage can be profound. It can keep us stuck in unhealthy patterns, prevent us from achieving our goals, and leave us feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. We might blame external factors for our lack of progress, not realizing that we are our own biggest obstacle. But the good news is, we can break free from this cycle of self-sabotage. The first step to stop screwing ourselves over is to identify when we're doing it. It's like trying to navigate through a dense fog without a compass. We need to recognize the signs of self-sabotage, be it in our behavior, thoughts, or feelings. Let's start with behavior. Procrastination is a common form of self-sabotage. We delay tasks, make excuses, or find distractions. Our productivity suffers, and with it, our self-esteem. Then there's perfectionism. We set our standards so high that they're impossible to meet. When we inevitably fall short, we beat ourselves up, creating a vicious cycle of self-criticism and disappointment. Next, we have self-sabotaging thoughts. These are often negative assumptions or beliefs about ourselves, others, or the world. We might think we're not good enough or that we don't deserve success. These thoughts can become self-fulfilling prophecies. If we believe we'll fail, we're less likely to try our best and more likely to indeed fail. Feelings, too, can be a form of self-sabotage. We might feel fear, anxiety, or guilt, and these emotions can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in a rut. It's crucial to understand that feelings are not facts. Just because we feel a certain way doesn't mean that our perception represents reality. Self-awareness is key in this process. We need to observe ourselves without judgment, like a scientist studying a fascinating specimen. It's about noticing our patterns, not criticizing them. It's about understanding, not blaming. Mindfulness can be a helpful tool here. It allows us to stay present, observe our thoughts and feelings, and recognize when we're slipping into self-sabotaging patterns. It's like shining a light into the fog, revealing the path ahead. Remember, self-sabotage is not a life sentence. It's a pattern of behavior, and patterns can be changed. It might not be easy, and it might take time, but it's possible. Once we identify our patterns, we can start working on changing them. And that's where the real journey begins. So let's dive into the strategies to overcome self-sabotage in the next part. Now that we know what to look for, how do we stop this destructive behavior? You might be asking yourself this very question. Well, overcoming self-sabotage is not an overnight process, but rather, it's a journey. a journey that is marked by self-awareness, understanding, and changes in behavior. Firstly, it's crucial to set achievable goals. It's great to dream big, but when it comes to setting goals, they need to be realistic and within your reach. Otherwise, it's easy to get overwhelmed and fall into the self-sabotage trap. Just think about it. If you set a goal to run a marathon next month, but you've never run a mile in your life, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, start with smaller, more manageable goals, like running a mile without stopping. Once you've achieved that, you can increase the distance gradually. The key is to set yourself up for success, not failure. Secondly, practicing self-compassion is essential. We all make mistakes, stumble and fall. It's part of being human. But how we respond to these setbacks can either propel us forward or keep us stuck in a cycle of self-sabotage. Be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Treat yourself as you would a friend in the same situation. Encourage yourself, forgive your mistakes, and remember that it's okay to not be perfect. Thirdly, it's important to challenge your negative beliefs. These are the thoughts and ideas that tell you you're not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. They're the voice in your head that says you can't do it. But the truth is, these beliefs are just thoughts, not facts. You can challenge them, question them, and ultimately change them. One effective way to do this is by using positive affirmations. These are positive statements that you repeat to yourself, such as, I am capable, I am worthy, and I can achieve my goals. Lastly, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Sometimes self-sabotage is deeply rooted in past experiences and can be difficult to overcome alone. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you understand your behaviors, uncover the root cause of your self-sabotage, and give you tools to overcome it. Remember, there's no shame in asking for help. In fact, it's a sign of strength and self-awareness. In conclusion, overcoming self-sabotage involves setting achievable goals, practicing self-compassion, challenging negative beliefs, and seeking professional help when needed. It's not an easy journey, but it's one that is worth embarking on, because at the end of the day, you deserve to live a fulfilling and successful life, free from the shackles of self-sabotage. Remember, overcoming self-sabotage is a journey, not a destination. So be patient with yourself, take one step at a time, and celebrate your progress along the way. After all, it's the small victories that lead to big changes. Understanding and identifying self-sabotage is one thing, but how do we implement this change in our everyday life? Now that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? To start, let's consider our daily habits. Habits are the building blocks of our lives, and they're often the culprits behind our self-sabotaging behaviors. To change these, it's essential to replace the destructive habits with constructive ones. This might sound like a Herculean task, but it's not. Start small. Choose one habit to change and focus on that. Once it becomes second nature, move on to the next one. It's also important to remember that Rome wasn't built in a day. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow and steady process that requires patience and consistency. Consistency is key because it's the small, repeated actions that lead to significant change. So don't beat yourself up if progress seems slow. Instead, celebrate the small victories. Each step, no matter how tiny, is a step forward. Now let's address the elephant in the room: setbacks. They're an inevitable part of the change process. When they happen, don't be too hard on yourself. Instead, use them as learning opportunities. Analyze what led to the setback and how you can prevent it in the future. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. Finally, don't forget to incorporate self-care into your routine. This includes eating well, exercising regularly, getting sufficient sleep, and taking time to relax and recharge. When you're physically and mentally healthy, you're in a much better position to implement and sustain change. In conclusion, implementing change involves replacing destructive habits with constructive ones, being patient and consistent, dealing with setbacks positively, and taking care of your overall health. It might not be easy, but it's definitely doable. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are countless resources and communities out there to help you along the way. Change might be challenging, but it's worth it. In our journey to stop self-sabotage, positivity is our greatest ally. This isn't just a feel-good mantra, it's a scientifically backed truth. When we cultivate a positive mindset, we're not just cheering ourselves up, we're building mental resilience, and that's a powerful tool against self-sabotage. So how do we nurture this positivity? First, we need to be mindful of our thoughts. Our minds are like gardens. If we let weeds of negativity grow unchecked, they'll choke out the flowers of positivity. Every time a negative thought pops up, acknowledge it, then counter it with a positive one. This isn't about ignoring reality, but about choosing to focus on the good rather than the bad. Second, we need to practice gratitude. It's easy to get caught up in what we lack or what's going wrong, but if we take a moment each day to recognize what's going right, we'll find that there's always something to be grateful for. This simple act shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, and that's a powerful antidote to self-sabotage. Third, we need to surround ourselves with positivity. That means choosing to spend time with people who lift us up, rather than those who bring us down. It also means consuming uplifting content, whether that's books, movies, music, or podcasts. Finally, we need to take care of our physical health. It's hard to stay positive if we're feeling run down. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and enough sleep all contribute to a positive mindset. Remember, positivity isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to see the good in every situation, even when things are tough. It's about picking ourselves up when we stumble and believing that we can overcome the challenges we face. With this approach, we're not just avoiding self-sabotage. We're building a foundation for success, happiness, and fulfillment. We're becoming the best versions of ourselves. We're harnessing the power of positivity. With positivity, we can conquer self-sabotage and achieve our true potential. Let's recap what we've learned today. We've embarked on quite a journey, haven't we? We've delved deep into the concept of self-sabotage, a phenomenon that's as intriguing as it is detrimental to our personal growth and happiness. Understanding self-sabotage was our first step. It's that act of intentionally or subconsciously creating obstacles or problems that prevent us from reaching our goals. It's a perplexing paradox, a riddle wrapped in an enigma, but it's a part of human nature, and it's something we all grapple with in different ways. We moved on to identifying self-sabotage. This is where we began to look inward, to scrutinize our thoughts, actions, and patterns. Are you the one holding yourself back? Is it fear, doubt, or a sense of unworthiness that's stopping you from achieving your dreams? These are tough questions, but necessary ones. Identifying self-sabotage is about becoming aware, about recognizing the signs and signals that we are our own worst enemies. Then we explored strategies to overcome self-sabotage. We talked about how crucial it is to accept and forgive ourselves, to challenge and change our negative thought patterns, to set realistic goals and break them down into manageable tasks. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, about taking one step at a time towards a brighter, better future. We also discussed implementing change, which is where the rubber meets the road. It's one thing to understand and identify self-sabotage, to devise strategies to overcome it, but it's a whole different ballgame to actually implement these changes. It requires determination, patience, and perseverance. It's about making a commitment to yourself, about promising to be kinder, more compassionate, and more understanding towards yourself. Finally, we touched upon the power of positivity. This is the secret ingredient, the magic potion that can help you turn the tide. Positivity is not about ignoring the negatives or pretending that everything is hunky-dory. It's about acknowledging the challenges and then choosing to focus on the good, on the possibilities, on the potential. It's about cultivating an optimistic mindset that can help you navigate through the stormy seas of self-sabotage. In conclusion, we've seen that self-sabotage is an intricate puzzle, but it's not unsolvable. It requires introspection, understanding, and a willingness to change. But most importantly, it requires you to believe in yourself, to have faith in your abilities, to trust in your potential. Remember, the power to stop screwing yourself over lies within you. Start today and see the difference it makes.